Welcome to Gemini-Duty Talk series, and today we are going to be having a section doing something that is very close to my heart. Okay, so we all assume that we know what is happening in this journey, how people feel, how people react, what people are thinking about. But when you actually look at it, it's not so. So this series is all about bringing different people that are experiencing this journey together: the therapists, the classroom teachers, the shadow teachers, and also the parents. Talk about how they feel, what they experience, what they think other people should know about this journey. And we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be laughing. We're going to have a really hard time expressing each other. But what matters is that the audience, people out there, knows about neurodiversity and knows about what we go through in this journey. And I hope that one person or another learns from this show, because this is something that is very close to my heart. So today, let's learn and unlearn and listen and maybe even cry together. So with me today is Mrs. Shade.
I'm Mrs. Shade Adelego. I'm a shadow teacher, then with my little experience as a teacher.
You have an Instagram account where people can reach you? And
no.
Okay. And our next guest today is Mrs. Uche.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mrs. Uche Chukuma, and I am a special needs educator and also a language facilitator. So I've had like 15 years experience working with children with neurodivergence and all other challenges. And for me, it's really an interesting path and an interesting journey. But one thing that stands out is that some of these our children are actually unique on their own, and people assume and expect them to act and relate just the way a typical child would relate. But let's sit down and hear and discuss and have some other experiences.
So do you have an Instagram where people can reach you?
Yes. My Instagram name is I am Uche Chukuma.
Okay. So I'm gonna be asking them questions, and I hope that we are able to interact very well and argue and come to an understanding. So, what made you choose this path, being a therapist for a neurodiverse kid? Sushi.
Okay, so basically, should I say, I actually started even working with children even before I was certified.
Okay.
So I was a marketer by study. I studied marketing. And so before I even went into the university, I had an opportunity to work with a child. And I noticed that this child was not speaking. The child was just there. And then in the class, they were always laughing at this child, like, you this dull girl, what's wrong with you? You don't seem to be picking up. So I was really concerned, because I looked at it and I said something must be really, really wrong. Like,
and this was before you even had an idea.
Before I even had an idea. So when I now finally got into special education, I now flashed back and I remembered. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, because I could remember all the health treatment this child got. So it had to change my mindset, and so I had to now continue the journey, and so far it's been a very enjoyable journey for me.
So what about you, Ms. Shade?
Let me just say the passion for the children.
Okay.
Like as a deaconess in the church.
Yeah.
So I started earlier after marriage. When I see children, I have the love for them. So that makes me go more into it, because at times when you see some children, they will look dull. Maybe they are missed. Some they'll be calling them dullard, maybe during the exam or anything. So I now go deep into it just to give them my best, for them to know how to relate, read and write, so that they won't be the one to despise among their equals.
Okay. So I learned that you're recently studying it at LASU, right?
Yes.
To be a therapist.
Yes, just to have more knowledge, then how to relate with them, because of the love and passion I have for them.
Yeah, but you started that as a shadow teacher.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's good. So the second question I want to ask is, many parents say that therapy is too expensive in Nigeria. What's your honest opinion on that?
Well, me, I really have a different opinion about therapies being very expensive in Nigeria. I totally disagree with that, because I've had experiences of parents that are well-to-do. They have this money, but they just assume that the child is not worth the spending, it's not worth the effort.
The
And then
parents.
yes, a lot,
Some
I have
parents.
a lot of parents. I've been on this field, and even presently I'm heading a foundation, so I know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to agree with the fact that therapy is expensive in Nigeria, because if you really want the best for your child, if you look at your child from the eyes of every other child, you would go an extra mile. You go an extra mile, and
Yes.
going an extra mile might not really mean that okay, you're going to break the bank. But
Mhm.
saying that therapy is expensive in Nigeria, I totally disagree with that.
But most parents believe it's waste of money.
Yes, that is the point.
I don't really see it as being a waste of money. I don't think that's what parents, because like in my community, I feel a lot of people that will be like, but how much is even my salary that you tell me to pay 150,000 or 120,000 per month, right? So you see why parents say that it's expensive. If they're not earning up to that amount,
Yes.
why should they pay that amount?
Okay, I understand the fact that if parents are not earning up to that amount, then why should they pay the amount? But me growing up, I could remember my mom when I was growing up. My mom would sell everything she had just to send me to school. I'm not saying that I'm not despising the fact that the economy right now is not really also helping issues. But I want to still stand on the fact that some parents do not really want to invest in this therapy for their children. I agree with that, and I think I have my proof on that.
Okay, I would like to see that proof one day. So some people will say that therapy in Nigeria, like a therapist in Nigeria, they are only in it for the money and not the passion. So what do you have to tell them?
So because in Nigeria we have this kind of looks that teachers and maybe whatever people that directly deal with children are not supposed to earn good money. I'm not saying, if we even look at it, how much do we even really pay our teachers in Nigeria? We don't really have a good pay. But I believe that if you're able to give value to people, I've worked with children, and by God's grace, I'm not boasting in my own power capacity. And the main thing is that if there is results, these parents would rather pay for it if they understand. Because what happens is that most times the therapists are usually on their own. The parents don't understand what is going on.
Yes.
So they assume.
Most parents are not actively involved. They just leave everything to the parents and say, okay, fine, I've paid you for therapy. Oh yeah, heal my child.
Yes,
and
do the magic.
I do get what you're saying, because this you're paying for this does not mean that it's a magical cure.
Exactly.
It's a process, yes.
Exactly. That magical thing is very, very
And
necessary.
that makes some parents to believe that, because I've interviewed a woman, she was like, even if I spend a lot on my this thing, at the end of the day, she will not amount to anything now. She will not. She said this, that how can I be spending so much on a autistic child?
Yes.
That at the end of the day, she cannot be a doctor, she cannot be a lawyer. So why am I spending much? Let her just be going to that public school. Let me just take her. Then at the end of the day, go and bring her. So most people believe in that. That's why they don't spend much on them. Yes, she said
This
it.
point that you just made, yes. A lot of people don't look at the future. They just look at what they are seeing, and they assume that they already know what will happen, what the future holds.
And I don't also really blame them, because right now there's not a lot of awareness in Nigeria.
Exactly.
There's no awareness in Nigeria, and that's why I always encourage parents. Now we are looking beyond what the society can give to us. Parents are meant to advocate for their children. Even these children these days are advocating for themselves. They advocate for themselves. I have young adults that we encourage them to look at the society and tell the society that I'm not what you think I am.
Exactly. I've had a lot of people on my page that would say, I wish there is a platform for autistic young adults where we can relate. And you say there is not a lot of that going on. Someone left this comment that said, I wish that, say, anytime I see your post, it heals my inner child. I wish that we have something like this when I was growing up. I wish we had someone that understood, that created this awareness. And now there are a lot of them that are out there that don't even know where they should go to. And all the pages that I see almost focuses on the parents that have younger children, and those young adults are being ignored. I see the point in what you're saying. So there's this question that I wanted to ask. Some say that shadow teachers are just glorifying babysitters. What do you have to say about that?
To me, I dispute that. Because we put in more effort for those children to be able to learn, because some children, they depend on us.
Yes.
because without us, they are teachers, they will just place them one side. They don't focus on them. But with our help, they're able to read and write and to do more, because at times the teacher, they just like just go and sit down there. But we will give them, we show them love here, and through that, because of our patience and all these things, our interaction, they were able to grab one thing or the other.
Okay, I also think that I would not really blame some of the schools where teachers are not able to attend to some of the students, because if you look at it, you look at the ratio in the class teacher already has a lot of children to deal with. And so it's not like these teachers cannot directly even give one-on-one sections to these children, but it's not possible.
But they're not qualified to do that. They don't even know what to do.
What
So
to do.
I want to say something. You know, when it comes to therapy, I tell people that the parent is the first therapist of a child.
Exactly.
So if you say, I don't really agree that they are not qualified. I only think that yes, you might not really, but helping a child that you know is struggling, even apart from a child having challenge,
even knowing the
there are some
diagnosis.
children that are slow learners.
Yes.
What do we do with the slow learners? Sometimes they just focus on the fast learners and everybody
and keep them aside, yes.
So, but what do we even really do with the slow learners? What do we do? Some children, you have to work on their pace.
You know, I think shadow teachers are very important. Some people say that they are not really necessary, but I think that every child on the spectrum should have a shadow teacher attached to them, because they go the extra mile. From my own experience, I don't know about the other shadow teachers. They go the whole mile
extra miles, because you sit down one-on-one
The
discussion.
only reason why a child should be in a mainstream school is that you have a therapist or a shadow teacher working with you. Otherwise, the child is in a special school.
Well, talking about special schools, I don't think in my experience so that these special needs schools are for everybody.
Yes.
You know, there are levels to this, there are stages to this. So if you don't have a very severe case, I don't necessarily think that you can go to a special needs school.
I think that yes, if it's not really severe, if it's something that you can work with the child in the mainstream school, because some parents will say, I want them to have social skills.
Exactly.
And yes, social skills, but at the end of the day, it's not only social skills the child will actually achieve. There are some things that a child needs to learn in a special school. So what I do sometimes, I recommend, if you can afford it, let the child go to a mainstream school maybe 3 times in a week. If it is possible for the child to
But that would
come
mean
in,
that the parents will be paying double school fees.
that is if you are not able to get a shadow teacher or a therapist in the school.
Yes.
For
That's
the
why I
child.
recommend it. So if your child is in a special in a mainstream school and they are on the spectrum, they either go with a shadow teacher or a therapist.
Yes.
So if not, they'll just be left
at yes.
So I've had this story of where a parent told me this, that a therapist that they are using, one day he was like, what do you think about my child and when are we going to see results? And the therapist was like, well, there is no hope for now, but let's look at it, something like that. There's no hope here, but let's be doing now. So in actual sense, he's actually telling his parents is don't be paying, let me be wasting your time. Because there is no
solution.
There is no solution at hand. There is no thing that we are seeing that will happen, but be paying me.
Okay, so I want to come into that aspect. So first of all, when you meet a special child or when you want to work with a child, you're supposed to run an assessment. And in the assessment, you as a parent, the therapist will ask you, what is your long-term goal and what is your short-term goal? Yeah. Now, short-term goal is the things that you should likely see, you're expected to see while you're working on the long-term goals. So short-term goals could be goals like, okay, she's off diaper.
Yes.
Do you understand? So it might not necessarily focus, but I notice that sometimes parents are just so focused on, is my child able to write 1 to 1 million? Yeah. And whether we like it or not, do you know that some children are not teachable? They cannot really learn the regular way or the way that we expect them to learn. So we focus on a particular area. That's why parents will ask and say, I'm not seeing any improvement, because you've actually basically focused on just the learning of the child. Understanding that these children also need self-care. There are some things that they cannot do for themselves.
You know what I think is, most people assume, okay, I'm just gonna pay I'm a professional therapist to teach my child to potty train, teach my child this, and I'm going to pay a speech and languages into how to talk and this one. But I think there are things that should be left for parents to do. I don't, not to go against any professional therapists out there, but you see things like training, teaching your child how to eat and stuff like that. These are things that parents should, bring out the time to learn.
Yeah.
and help their child at home. You see, this thing about therapy and the success of the child is not just for the therapist. You work in partnership with the parent. So you continue that process at home while the therapist is not there. And when the therapist comes, he's expected to continue his or her own section in the school. But the problem is when we now leave everything for therapists to do. You say the therapist will teach you how to what to train and how to speak and how to eat and how to do everything. And all you just do is pay money.
Well, I understand what you're trying to say, and I 100% agree with you. But I want to also say that, whether I like it or not, special needs mom parents are going through a lot.
Yeah.
And I would say sometimes I also say that a special child, if you have a special child, you as a parent, you need to go to therapy too.
Yes.
Yes, because I've had a parent that I want to tell you that these things are on different levels. This woman has tried, and sometimes when she's talking to me, she cries, and I feel her pain. Honestly, the journey is not as easy as we sometimes label these parents or expect them to do so much. I understand that yes, they have a part to play, they need to follow up, but sometimes the therapist can kickstart these activities for them, because sometimes you don't even know that some of these children don't even respond to their parents. Are you aware that they don't even want to respond to their
What
parents?
I'm saying is, I'm not just, I have a child on the spectrum. So I'm not just saying this because I read it in a book somewhere. But like you said, every parent that is on the spectrum should be able to have a knowledge of the other. Even if you don't go for a course, read a book.
Yeah.
Get yourself educated in one way or the other. Don't just
Rely
depend
on
or rely on the therapist completely. Sometimes I would call my daughter's shadow teacher and I'll be like, okay, what are we doing today? How far have we gone? I don't like this, I don't like that. I think to all the therapists I work with, because you know what they say, that a doctor cannot treat themselves. I may be knowledgeable and they know these things,
but you might not be able to.
I can't work with my child.
Yes.
So the first two therapists I got, they just ran away because
they could not stand the pressure.
Because I'm an expert, so I don't just sit down. They will say that they want a parent that is involved, helping, but when you're actually involved, they get scared.
Yeah, they don't want you to.
They don't want you to be able to ask questions. They don't want you to be able to tell them, this is how I like it. Or can't you just? But my recent challenge that I use, she keeps me up. I was just like, I wonder, and what is happening? I think we should go like this and should go like this, and she should be giving me updates.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I suggested it to let's do this, let's do that. That's the kind of thing I expect from parents.
Yes, and I feel that is even up to the therapist, because what if you are working? I wanted a child under the nose of the mother. What are you supposed to do? I was under me and the mother, the child were working.
Yeah.
So what am I saying? Sometimes the child will be very, very silly. She was throwing tantrums, and how was I able to control that kind of environment? Knowing fully well that the child already knows that I'm in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you can't even really do much to me. And then, but I had to. And at some point, the mom was saying that, Miss Uche, I need to come and learn what you tell this girl that just makes her, whenever she sees you,
are always different.
Yeah, but the truth is that as a therapist, you need to learn how to, whatever, maneuver situations.
Yes.
Some schools will even tell you that they want to see what you're doing with the child. Will you say because you're hiding? Some people feel that they want to hold information.
Yeah, to have the autonomy. So another person will not be able to.
The truth is that no two therapists can work the same way. Even if I teach you, you can't work the way I work.
Yes.
Because your passion for children depends. And sometimes you might be working with a child. If, for me, I always recognize the God factor and I don't take it away, because the Holy Spirit has always been helping me. Yeah. And sometimes the Holy Spirit tells me, do this thing for a child. And I do it and it works.
Okay, so speaking about parents and kids and therapists, so I'm going to ask this question. What makes a strong partnership between you as an expert and the parent of the child that you're supporting?
Okay. So for me, what makes a strong partnership between the parents and the therapist is that parents on their own side understand that it is not just the journey alone with the child and the therapist.
Yeah.
They understand that it is a co-parenting. So I would like to use the word co-parenting because to some extent the therapist also parents the child. And like we know, it says it is not one person that raises a child.
Yes.
It takes a community, it takes a village to raise a child. So because it takes a village to raise a child, you also need the therapist and even in the society, even people around you somehow, to have a concrete and a solid child. So most times we as a therapist, we sometimes don't really, we assume that maybe the parents might not really need a lot of information about the child. But I think that every move that you need to make with the child, you need to involve the parents.
Exactly.
You need to involve the parents. So with that, the parents understand that, okay, this journey is not just for me. So you know that, okay, today you have to tell the parents that, okay, we just started a new activity. Please kindly engage your child at home.
I know a therapist that does that. She's working with the child, but every week she's sending activities for the parents to do. So she does not just end it by coming to do and go home. She by every week she writes something and she sends to the parents to read, or she tells them what she's expecting of them that way.
Yeah.
So that way you're creating this oneness between building, how will I put it? Building that partnership, like the question goes, or that friendship between you and the child. I know someone that told me that the therapy charges a lot. I think what he charges was like 350,000 per month. But at the end of the year, he still did a gift basket
To the child.
for the child. The therapist will do a gift basket for the child, and then too, as family, they will do a gift basket for the therapist. Now you see that these kind of people, they have an understanding.
Yeah.
It's not just about the
About the
money.
money.
Yeah. So for me, what I do is that because I see my parents or I see my clients as my family, I'm more concerned about the child. So you can see me on the children's birthday, I'm excited, and the parents will be like, come, is it you that is doing the birthday? Because I want them to have this, understand that beyond the money, there is a relationship.
Exactly.
Beyond the money, you care for the child. I go as far as gifting the child. I'll buy gifts for the child, and I can be coming today. I can be coming home and say, don't worry, when I'm coming, I'll get you suit.
My daughter's shadow teacher is like that too. Birthdays, she's there. Even things that are not connected to school.
Yeah.
If you call her, she's there. If you need her to do this extra mile, she's ready to just go to. She'll just be like, oh,
And that's how to show them love, because
Yes.
the children, they will appreciate that.
And the parents too want to be comfortable around you.
Exactly. And you will see that whenever it's lesson time, she's coming. Yeah, mom, is she here? I don't want to mention it, but they are always anticipating
to see.
anytime.
And because they are also good with routine, so they understand that this particular time, the day I didn't go for a therapy for a child, and in fact that day I messed up. The child was angry. She stood at the door. She kept on telling mommy, it's time, it's time, it's time. So canceling their appointment sometimes has a way of scattering their routine pattern. So
So what do you think is, Shade?
I think it's because of the bond, the love. So it has to be, because if not, the children will not be able to.
Yes.
Because at times, if the teachers will be calling me, where are you? Oh, your daughter is looking for you. Say if I'm not around, you two people take care of. Say no, she's eager to see you. Start coming. I say I'm not coming today. Please, now what are you doing? Are you coming tomorrow? I say tomorrow is not my program. Say please just come. We have a lot of work back for you.
Because kids, they are happy.
Yeah,
yes,
they know when you accept
once you show them love, and
they know
yes.
they accept them.
When the situation is like this, parents will of course notice it.
Yes.
If their child is happy
around you,
yes, this woman is doing a
comfortable
good job,
around you,
that will create that relationship, and it's really, really nice. I'm going to ask, what's something that you deeply wish that Nigerian parents of neurodiverse kids would understand about this journey from your own point of view? As a therapist, as a shadow teacher, what do you think that the parents would understand?
I think they should put more efforts, like working hands with their therapist, shadow teacher, for proper upbringing of their distance, so that at the end of the day, they too will be like, even if they don't fit in like normal thing, but at the end of the day, they should be outstanding, like nobody will write them off among their equals.
I used to call it to get your child society ready.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and for me, I want to recommend, and I like to say to parents, that early intervention is key. A lot of parents live in denials, and I do not blame them. I do not dispute the fact that some people might not know what it is called, but I like to encourage parents, start when you know. All these denials that we keep saying, my child does not, some people will say, God forbid, it's not my portion, say a lot of things. The truth is that the more you keep living in denials, you will still come back to therapy. And when you come back to therapy, it might be really late. It might be late. There are some milestones that a child would hit if therapy is start early enough. And the truth is that therapy does not hurt. Even if you are believing God that your child will get better, the therapy will not do any harm to the child. So starting early can also help the child come over some certain behaviors.
And this tackles the issue of what you said about people saying parents like it's a waste of money. Why will I pay so? It's not like he's going to grow up to be a doctor. And does that necessarily matter? You that is saying it, are you a doctor?
Exactly.
Are you a lawyer? But there are a lot of other things that the child can grow up to be. Let's take the famous people that are on the spectrum, for example. I'm going to use Elon Musk, for example. He's not a doctor, and he's not a lawyer, but he's the richest man in the world. There are a whole lot of other ways to make money and become someone in life, apart from that traditional mentality that you have to be.
You can engage them in hard work, like skills.
Go for vocational skills.
Yes. I think that's help a lot.
Vocational skills. They can learn a skill. They can learn how to cook. I have some young adults. They are cooking. They are making hair. At the end of the day, you're able to make money for yourself because that's what really matters.
Very good billionaires and great people from skills.
From skills.
Making clothes and being a fashion designer.
Yes, not necessarily doctor, lawyer.
She's
very good and
doing
perfect.
exceptionally. So it's not necessarily about going to school, and your child may not even be the academic and they may like football, and you nurture that talent, and before you
bring
know
out the talent in them.
That they're going for international leagues and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily about going to school and doing this, but more of the skills that you train in your child and to help them achieve whatever they want to achieve. Have you ever wanted to quit this job? And what made you stay? So I want you to share an experience of something that made you like, are you sure? I'm not sure this is for me. I think I should just rest a bit. I should stop all this stress.
Well, for me, as a therapist, sometimes it can be overwhelming.
Exactly.
And because we do the same thing every day. Like every day I do the same thing every day, and because it's a special child, sometimes we do a lot of reinforcement, meaning that you will keep doing the same thing. I can assure you that when they come back for this break, you're going to start all over again. So it's at some point for me, it's a bit tiring. I get tired and I feel like, well, I just feel like I want to do something else. Let me just go outside this whole doing this thing every day. But at the other point of it, I understand that some of these children just rely on us to get to some certain points. And if we quit, if we say, okay, we're not going to do it, how are we sure? Even some of these children during holidays, they're already calling us that, when are we going to come around? So they just keep us going at some point. They just keep us moving. But to say that this job is very, very overwhelming, I'm not disputing the fact. It can be very overwhelming. It can be tiring. In fact, sometimes you can get frustrated because these children will surely frustrate you. They will frustrate you. They will get you angry. They will come up with some certain behaviors. And sometimes I need to just tell myself, just calm down, relax.
But then you look at the adorable
face, and I remember one particular child. She will do something very naughty, and then you now look at her face. You now start crying. Immediately she starts crying like this, everybody will not be asking, "What's wrong with you? Sorry." She has this very innocent face, but you will not even assume that this innocent face just displays one particular funny behavior. So you understand that in the midst of it, it's not really easy. It's overwhelming. But we keep pushing.
Mommy, do you love me? I'm sorry now.
For me, I don't think I want to quit the job right now. That's why the passion for you to go more, to further more, because I can see the children I'm working with, they have the passion. Like once they see me, they are eager, like to learn, to read. So the love, the way I show them that love. So if I should quit, I know that more children out there will suffer for it. So I have to put more efforts just to have more knowledge about it and work with them.
I think basically this whole thing is about how you treat these kids and how they see you. Once they are comfortable with you, I think that's the ultimate superpower.
Yes, because I have a girl right now that I work with. Each time she's eating, she has to force me. If you don't put this in your mouth, if you don't eat, Miss Shadi, I will not eat. She will be crying. So at the end of the day, I have to eat. Okay, give me one spoon so that she can do anything on her. So I think the passion and the love I have for it will not make me to quit right now.
Okay, so there is something I wanted to ask when you talked about that you
You don't think that the fee for therapy is that is too much?
You are back to this same question. Back to the same question. And I disagree. I'm still going to disagree in my years to come that therapy fee is too much in Nigeria because
It's a hot topic in my page.
it is. In fact, I need to come and I don't know because what are we talking about?
It's
do you know how much?
Gemini-Duty on
Do you know how much people are paying for therapy? I have a client that brings a child once in a while. She brings a child to Nigeria, and that's because they cannot even afford to. In fact, before let me tell you the truth, Nigerians are doing very good when it comes to therapy.
Yes,
Exactly.
Because before you even see a therapist over there, sometimes they tell you, and you know the Nigeria approach, somehow it works for us. They tell you the child is not ready. She's not ready, she's not ready. You can't do anything.
You can't scold them over there.
She's
But
not
here,
ready.
once you shout at the
I've
kids,
that booked a section to ask me for my advice. Should I bring my kid down to Nigeria? Do you have a therapist that will be working with them? They want to set everything up before they come down. But I'm like, oh, the child said the grandmother or my sister or something like that. And they're ready to pay everything. Some people even book therapy online.
Yeah.
And you see, Nigeria, when it comes to the therapists, they are really good. For those that want to, like, most of them, they do it with passion.
Yes.
Most of them, they love doing it. They're not just doing it
because of the money, yes.
90%, okay, let me not do it. So say 80% of the therapists love what they do. But I'm going to ask, have you ever had to defend your fee or feel the pressure to prove the value of your work?
Well, yes, because you know one thing I do is that when I meet a child, you know parents, we always want more.
Yes.
So I have my progress reports. So when the parents are telling me, I will remind you, please remember where we are coming from. Remember, this is where we are coming from. We're at the point, and I understand everybody wants more. So when they come to you, they tell you, my child is not talking, please, I just want my child to start talking. That's their main focus.
Yes.
Immediately the child starts talking, they move.
But you know, I think this is not really right. So it's good that we're saying it here. Having a rigid expectation of what you want. I think there is this time I'll be like, what I want now is for us to start writing. Just they'll go to school and my daughter's solution was like, well, I think we should start from here. I'm like, no. We've done this, I want us to do this now. But at the wrong one, and I started thinking about it, like, there's sense in what she's saying, okay now. But she was suggesting to just start with names, all these important details. Let's be sure that she knows all these ones. And I'm like, eventually I now stopped to go writing and reading that I'm putting my head and say, okay, let us learn to write. And within 2 weeks, I'm looking at the video of my daughter writing her name. Because I stopped setting that expectation too high.
Yeah.
I brought it down and said, okay, let's focus on video. Focus on writing your name. Focus on knowing your school. Focus on that.
Little.
The main important thing is can your child write his own name? Does he know, mom? Does the child know your address in case of emergency?
And their school.
Yes. Because the truth is that when you go to bank, there's this form we fill when you're for some young adults. Some people don't take their children to bank. We take them to the bank to go and see. This is at the real life, practical life, the things that they will face. Not necessarily them always writing, wanting to write. Is the child, at the end of the day, some children need to be ready for some certain things. Even to talk, they need to be ready. Those therapists is we Nigerians that use force to do a lot of things. They tell you that the child is not ready. The child is not ready to talk. The child is not ready to talk.
Exactly.
So
exactly. So at the end of the day, what keeps your heart in this work?
Okay. So for me, what keeps my heart in this work, it just shows that many times we assume that these children cannot learn. We assume that they cannot become so much. But because we've had experiences and we've had histories of these children becoming so much, and sometimes when I see them doing some things, the joy I feel, I remember that this child was a child that wasn't able to do anything, but look at her, it gives me this joy, it gives me exception, and it keeps me going. So when I see that they are doing some certain things, they hit a particular milestone, it's joy for me. It's very happy. I feel very happy because what else? When they were coming to this earth, God knew and trusted that He had capable hands. That's why He sent them. So there's nothing we can do. They are here with us, and we can't do nothing about it. They have come to stay with us, and they are here with us. So as far as we see them the way God wants us to see them, we are good to go. They can do so many things, and it gives us joy when you see that they are doing those things.
Shade, do you have anything to add?
She has said it all.
Okay, I think that's everybody's expectation.
Yes.
You said it all, Shruti. The last question is, if you have an opportunity to talk to the Nigerian government or organizations out there that would help, because a lot of people are creating awareness. I am creating awareness. Most parents are creating awareness, but all this awareness may not really go that far without it's going to the proper channel. So what do you have to say to people out there that are listening, the Nigerian government or anybody at all that you feel that could help create this awareness for us? What is one thing you think?
Okay, so if I have an opportunity to speak probably to the Nigerian government, I would like to say that Nigerian government, please, we need more awareness. And this awareness does not just stop with us talking. We need to see that these children get the same access as a typical
Go
child.
out there and meet them.
Yes, we need to see them that they are being employed, because that is the fear of some parents. We need to see them that they can do some certain things. And like I always say, they have the right to use the same hospitals that we use. They have the right to go to the same school that your children go. The truth is that the society keeps mocking them. They keep laughing at them. I know of a particular skit that came out, and this skit was to mock physically challenged people.
I saw that skit.
And it was to mock physically challenged people. And I stand to disagree, and I stand to say no to it, because it is not okay. It is not okay. So we are calling on the Nigeria government, our churches, the philanthropists to please support these children. Your support can go a long way. Many parents are struggling to get these children into therapy, and like they say, therapy is expensive in Nigeria, so they need support. So please kindly help us support these children to keep them sustained in our society. Thank you very much.
And I think one other aspect that is needed is the school. I've been to a school where I was talking to the proprietors about autism and neurodiversity, and she's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, I was shocked. I was like, I mean, you own a school. You don't even have a hint. I said, no, I have to start explaining. And even as I was explaining, and everybody knows me, I'm a storyteller. I know how to explain things very well. And I'm explaining, and she's still confused. I'm like, this is a school. And they have no idea. And it dawned on me that most schools in Nigeria don't even know what we're talking about.
Yes.
They don't even understand the concept of autism or neurodiversities. It was tiring. So I think one thing I want personally is to be able to go out there, create awareness for schools to have an inclusive environment. I think every school should have a sensory room, should have a space that is designated for people on the spectrum. This space that is conducive, well arranged, well prepared, at least, okay, let's say a place that therapists can come and stay and do their session in a calming environment. Not that you're talking with a child that has ADHD and she's hearing horn and her mind is somewhere else.
She's looking at the road, distracted.
Exactly. Or you're talking to a child that has autism and one loud noise is making him or her cringe, and next thing she's throwing a chant of why the child is obviously having a meltdown. I think it should be like the Ministry of Education should make it mandatory that every school should have a sensory room designated for people on the spectrum, honestly, because right now it's 1 in 16 children.
Yeah.
1 in 16 children are on the spectrum.
Yes.
Look at that ratio. I think a few years ago it was like 1 in 200 or 300.
Yeah, but now it's
one in
very,
60.
very rampant.
You see that the ratio is now
Increasing.
more that these things are not even available. Every school, me personally, if there is a means for it, I'm ready to go to every school to push the idea. But then again, telling them is one thing, getting them to do it is one thing, the resources to do it is another thing. I think that's one thing I have to say to the Nigerian government or to the Ministry of Education or anything.
Come to our aid
To come to
for
our
support.
aid. Wrapping up this episode of our Gemini-Duty Talk series, I want to thank our guests for being here today and sharing a piece of their mind with us. Now we've had an insight of what it feels to be a therapist or a shadow teacher in Nigeria, their own point of view. And we are, of course, going to be having more guests on this show. We're going to be inviting the parents that are living the life, going through this journey to have this talk. We're going to be inviting the class teachers and a lot more other people. And I hope that these have not only interested you and entertained you, but have actually done a bit to create awareness in Nigeria on what we as parents on the spectrum or on the autism journey are going through. The main purpose of this is to create awareness, to put out the word out there, to do more, for awareness to be created, to get more for these parents, get more for the children. And that is what our show is actually driving at. So stay tuned for the next series that are to come up. Also follow us on Instagram at Gemini-Duty and on Facebook too, and Gemini-Duty. And of course, send us a mail if there is anything you want to talk about or any collaborations. We have lots of guides and ebooks and resources, materials that help people through this journey. And Gemini-Duty, of course, is focused on helping parents through this journey, helping them navigate it. I know personally because starting this journey, it was not easy for me. I had to go through a lot without knowing anything. And before my daughter was diagnosed, we had no idea what the spectrum was. And I believe a lot of parents out there are going through the same thing. But by building this brand, I found out that there are a lot of parents that are going through this. That is what Gemini-Duty is focused at, helping parents through this journey, helping parents navigate it. So check out our page on Instagram at Gemini-Duty and stay tuned for more series that are coming.
Thanks for watching.